Good afternoon and welcome back to the channel. This video is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own research, make your own decisions. All right, guys, quick update on a couple different things here. So the dollar has continued to fall. I think this is significant. It could shoot right back up and go set a higher high, but I think to the degree that it's dropped in the time frame that it has, I think it's worth paying attention to. Stocks were up slightly earlier, and Bitcoin's around 16.6, and alts are where they are. A lot of fear and hysteria in the crypto space because of everything happening with FTX. And now it also looks like BlockFi and maybe some others will be involved as well. I do want to make a distinction between exchanges and blockchain technology companies that are being adopted by very large corporations for the purpose of business operations. All right. To that point, in the last 2 days, guys, I will stop as soon as this stops. The second this stops, my tune will change. Okay? And I've been consistent on this for over a year. I've been saying the same thing. I've had the exact same position. And I said the second that all of this stops, I will reevaluate everything. So in the last 2 days, and these are two core positions of mine, I'm not talking about random, advertising deals with, lower, very, not very well-known crypto companies. In the last 2 days, so GMO, which is a large Japanese internet conglomerate that has numerous subsidiaries, has been working with the Stellar Foundation, and they have now launched a Japanese regulated, the first Japanese regulated stablecoin on the Stellar blockchain. So the very first Japanese regulated stablecoin is live on the Stellar blockchain. Stellar worked with GMO, a giant Japanese conglomerate that is primarily focused on internet development, was working with them on that, and now that is live. So that just goes on the long list of other things that has happened with Stellar over the last year or so. And again, as soon as stuff like this stops happening, my tune will change. And then the day before that, NTT Docomo, which is the largest mobile phone provider in Japan, partnered with Astra Network, which is a Polkadot parachain. Polkadot's also a core position of mine. And NTT committed to investing $4 billion into Web3 development. So those guys, that's just a 2-day period. And those are two core positions of mine. So while there are a lot of crazy things happening with the exchanges, I'm not saying that, all the other crypto companies are perfectly fine, but let's differentiate between something like Stellar, something like Algorand, something like Polkadot, and a centralized exchange. Okay? No idea what's going to happen here with this whole situation or how the market's going to react. But when I'm watching companies that I'm invested in be adopted by some of the largest institutions in the world, I'm not even remotely thinking about doing anything but buying more. And I've been consistent on that for a year and a half. So because, let me get this straight, because FTX is going bankrupt or because BlockFi is going bankrupt, then that means I should somehow be less bullish on Stellar, who's working with entire governments and who those governments are actually using the Stellar blockchain. And let's say something like Polkadot, that the largest mobile phone provider in Japan is now partnering with Polkadot, and this mobile phone provider has committed $4 billion to investing in Web3 infrastructure. And those are just the last 2 days. And a couple days, 5 or 6 days ago, when I did that other video, I was, listing off numerous examples with Algorand, with Polygon, with Chainlink. And these are all recent. And these aren't no-named companies that are starting to use these technologies. These are the largest institutions in the world across every sector. Internet service providers, telecom, financial services, technology companies, all across the board. So that's my piece on that. And on top of that, I'm watching the companies I'm invested in, my core positions, be adopted by the largest institutions in the world, while simultaneously I'm watching the dollar fall, and the exchange that allegedly was responsible for manipulating the price of my largest position just went bankrupt. I'm good. I don't, I understand why people are hysterical right now, but it's all about what you focus on and what you talk about. If the content creators focused on actual adoption, like what just happened with Stellar, like what just happened with Polkadot, like what happened with Chainlink, like what's happening with Algorand, like what's happening with Polygon, if they focused on that and that was primarily what was talked about, because that's primarily what's going on. The centralized exchanges themselves, they essentially sell stock, more or less. And while it will have issues with the market and with cross-collateralization with other assets or other companies, it's not stopping the largest institutions in the world from adopting the very companies that I'm invested in. So I've been very clear about the parameters for my general thesis and my approach. And guys, that's just for me, okay? Like, I don't care if y'all, like, if you're out of the market, if you think that crypto's going to zero, like, that's fine. You can come to whatever conclusion you want to. I've never had a sponsor. I've never done a promotional video. I've never taken a dime from anybody. I'm simply on here reporting on these developments that are happening. And because I come to the conclusion that I do about what's happening with this, obviously, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. And for full transparency, I want to show that to everybody because there's so many liars in this space. There's so many people that are just bought and paid for, like we've seen here recently. So I become more bullish by the second. And while everybody is watching the market and this whole catastrophe with FTX, the implementation process is still moving forward. So that's all I'm concerned about. And, I said the other day, implementation is just going to accelerate now. So this will just become the new system. Sorry, I got something like this little piece of string. It's only going to accelerate, in my personal opinion. So, couldn't be more bullish, and I'm going to remain that way. And I'm looking forward to the next couple months. I hope we stay down here. I really do. I hope we go a little bit further down, because many alts haven't even really, they're just kind of at the same range that they've been in. So, some are down a lot further, but so I really couldn't be more bullish. I couldn't. And guys, I speak through my purchase orders. All right. So if you really want to know my thoughts, look at my community tab. That will probably give you the best, most accurate take on what my general attitude is at that particular time. But that's not me telling you to do it. I'm just doing that for transparency. There's no transparency in the space, and that's why I'm showing it. So that's all I have for this video. I'm starting to sweat, so I got to start the car up here. Let me know your thoughts. I'll get out another video as developments happen. There are some other things I want to talk about too, but I just wanted to go over that. Take care. Have a good day. I'll see you in the next video.